So hi and welcome to day 70 of Through the Bible in 1 year. In today's Bible study video, we're now moving past the Torah, the 5 books of Moses particularly, and we're moving in now to the book of Joshua. Now, what's actually going to happen now, just to kind of preface a lot of what's going to happen, is we've been on a journey pretty much from the children of Israel coming out of Egypt and literally going waiting to get into the promised land, so to speak. And now what we're basically about to see is things are going to kind of pick up a little bit. We're now going to see Joshua take over the reins of Moses. In the last video we read about how Moses died in the mountain, didn't actually enter the promised land. Now his successor, his minister, as the scripture likes to call him a lot of the time, Joshua, is now going to be entering in and taking the children of Israel into the promised land. So as always, thanks for tuning in to our Through the Bible in 1 year study. We're on to day 70 of Through the Bible in 1 year, now going into the book of Joshua. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Obviously, like, comment, share this with your friends and your family as well. And as always, there's a link below this video for you to actually sow a seed to the ministry to help us continue to produce these materials and get these out to you as quickly as possible. So let's jump into it. Joshua chapter 1 and verse 1 reads, "Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses his minister, saying," so just to quickly jump off there quickly, I've said it already, the scripture likes to talk about Joshua as Moses' minister, in the sense that he was sort of like a great way to describe it sort of now is like a personal assistant. Okay, he assisted Moses in the things that he was doing, basically. Verse 2, "Moses my servant is dead." This is the Lord talking to Joshua here, okay? And just like he talked with Moses, now he's similarly talking in conversations with Joshua. "Moses my servant is dead," the Lord says. "Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, to the children of Israel." Let's keep going. "Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses, from the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, and all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea, toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast." It's interesting just to kind of go through a couple of the verses I've just read there. It's really interesting. There's loads of stuff in there that we can actually pick out. First thing I'll say is this, okay? First and foremost, I want to talk first about the timeline. Now, I understand that through the book of Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, etc., okay, we're dealing with, really in a nutshell, the bulk of it is about just that 40-year window from coming out of Egypt and then being the elder generation being punished for their unbelief. Okay, so a lot of that time is, most of it is focused on 40 years. Okay, it's good for you to understand that and have that in your context when you're thinking about and reading this. I understand this because they were in the wilderness for about 40 years, and now they're going to enter the land just like that. They're going to start repossessing the land like that. So I want you to understand that. Okay, it's really important for you to understand that. Okay, so understand that they've been waiting for 40 years. Now they're entering in. That's the first thing. The second thing is verse 3, where it talks about every place your foot should tread. It's interesting because that reminds me of Abraham. When Abraham came into the land that they're now going into, okay, hundreds of years ago, what did the Lord say to Abraham? He said, walk up and down the breadth and the length and the width of it, basically along those lines, saying walk around the land, and where you tread I'm going to give to you, which is really interesting. The Lord says, he says, as he said to Moses, but he also said something similar to Abraham, which I think is really key. In verse 4 he goes through just the different geographical location, which is good for reference sake, even in regards to today's day and age. Okay, there's disputes about the land currently still, and it's important for you to understand that, so it can help you understand the bigger picture of what's actually going on in today's day and age. Okay, now it's interesting. Look what it says here, verse 5. "There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so as I was with Moses, I will be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee." So, as which is what you kind of expect to be kind of common. The Lord's moved from Moses to Joshua now. He needs to uplift him. He needs to increase his faith because he's not going to be now leading the people. It's important for you to understand, yes, he was with Moses. He saw Moses do all of these great and wonderful things, but that isn't always enough for the next person. You might see someone do a lot of great things. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to just be able to do it. And this is why it's important that the Lord here is continuing to encourage him and lift him up, saying, look, just as I was with Moses, I'm going to be with you. And he's going to say it here in a couple of verses anyway, but I want to point out it ahead of time is that the Lord's going to basically use Joshua in similar ways to which he used Moses. The Lord's going to say to him, look, the way I've used Moses, I'm going to start to magnify my power through you, just as I did it through Moses. Verse 6, look, this is what he says. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto these people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. So they're going to take the land and then divide it up as well. 7, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayst observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it the right hand or the left, that thou mayst prosper whithersoever thou goest. This is one of the most famous verses, basically, in the whole Bible, coupled with verse 8 as well, which I'll read now as well. Then I'll come back to what I'm going to say. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayst observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So it's important for a number of reasons. This isn't the first time the Lord's kind of alluded to something similar to like this. If I remember correctly, it's the Book of Deuteronomy, where the Lord's talking about, maybe he covers it in the Book of Exodus as well, I can't remember right now, but he's basically saying, look, you shouldn't depart from these scriptures. You should talk about it and study about it when you're in your house, when you're on your way, when you're with friends, etc., when you're on your journey, all of these different places. When you come in, you should always have this on your mind. So this isn't something new, but this is the Lord here in a lot of ways. This is chapter 1, basically the Lord reaffirming a lot of things to Joshua, re-encouraging him, because Moses, if you remember, towards the last couple of chapters of the Book of Deuteronomy, what was the Lord saying to Moses? Lift up Joshua, raise him up, encourage him, exhort him in front of the people. Okay, so this isn't something new to Joshua, but this is just a prime example of a believer. Okay, even in today's day and age, okay, you should constantly reaffirm the promises that God has given to you, because there are going to be times when you start to lack faith or you grow weary. In those times are the times when you need to remember these kind of things. It's important. What does the Lord say? He says, meditate on it day and night. Okay, why does he say that? Because there's always going to be temptation. There's always going to be the opportunity to not believe, to fall into unbelief. So you need to constantly have the things that the Lord has actually said in your heart and in your mind. That the easiest way for that to always be on your mind is for you to always be thinking on it, to always be meditating on it, to always be in it and around it. Okay. What does he say? Loads of Christians today want to be prosperous, want to be rich, want to be successful. Well, these two verses alone just kind of showcase to you, they give you a mirror to look at. Okay, are you in the Word? Are you meditating day and night? Okay, why? So you don't move to the left or to the right. It's simple. Okay, the scripture's saying it in the clearest of ways. This is how you get success and prosperity in God. Now, there are different people out there in today's day and age that will promote to you, look, you have to give to be successful. And giving is part of being obedient to the Lord, but it's not just about giving. That's why people that make the mistake of saying, okay, I'm going to give in order to just receive. Okay, and that's not necessarily the way it works. Okay, the Lord looks on your heart. If you have the wrong kind of heart, things aren't going to work out for you. When we get to the Book of Acts, we're going to hear about Simon the sorcerer, I believe. Okay, he was a guy who used to bewitch a whole city. Okay, and then he got converted through disciples basically preaching and just works. And what did he say? As time went on, he got to a point where he said, I want the power that the disciples have to lay hands on people and to give them the Holy Ghost. And Peter says to him, okay, the leader pretty much of the disciples, the 12 disciples, he says, look, your money perished with you because you thought you could pay for the gift of God, basically. So what he was basically saying is, you thought that I'm just going to give money, okay, and then I'm going to receive blessings and power from the Lord. That's not how it works, okay. It's all about your heart. It's all about you wanting to do right by God, okay. So these are the kind of things you need to think about. I even remember myself years and years and years ago, and even still to today, making prayers to God, saying, look, God, you know what? You know my heart. There's no point in me trying to lie or hide it or anything like that. I want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. But, and this was a key thing, don't make me rich, don't make me wealthy if it's going to jeopardize me going into your kingdom, okay? Because really deep down in my heart, okay, being saved, going to heaven is more important to me than being rich in this earth for however many years it's going to be, okay? So if I can't have the two, and there's people out there that believe, oh, you can't be rich or you can't have money, you can't have good things if you're a Christian. That's not necessarily true, okay? All the way through the Bible, okay, you've got rich believers, okay? So I've always said to God, look, you know what? Make sure my heart is right. I don't want it if my heart is not right and if it draws me away from you. So these are the things you need to think about. I don't want riches without God. I want riches and God. And if I can't have the two, then I'll take God. If I can have the two, then obviously it's based on the Lord preparing me and allowing me to grow in maturity to the point where I can have money, I can have all of these different things, and I don't let it get the best of me, okay? So just think about that. And as you meditate on these verses that I've kind of talked about, and you just remember what it takes to be successful. It's not just about giving money to receive money. That might be part of it, giving because you want to give to people that are in need, okay? But not because I'm going to give so I can receive, okay? Verse 9, excuse me. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God with thee, whithersoever thou goest. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the host and command the people, saying, prepare your victuals, for within 3 days ye shall pass over this Jordan, to go in to possess the land, which the Lord your God giveth you to possess it. So, years and years, 40 years about there and thereabouts waiting, and then just literally like that, 3 days, we're going in, okay? It's not because the Lord couldn't do it. Okay, never ever think that it was because the Lord needed 40 years to prepare or anything like that. It's because the people didn't believe, so the Lord didn't act for them. Okay, once those people were gone, now these were people that did believe. You can see how quickly this journey should have actually taken. Okay, what should have been just literally a couple of weeks to start getting into the land literally took them 40 years because of unbelief. That's how dangerous not believing what the Lord says actually is. That gives you a time scale in one circumstance, how long it actually took for the people to inherit what the Lord had promised them. It took them 40 years of waiting because of that. Moses is another example. Okay, he was about 40 years old. The book of Acts chapter 7 talks about it from about verse 20. It gives us loads of details from Stephen's account of what happened to Moses. He was 40 years old. He tried to literally start to enforce God's plan. Whether it was the right time or not, that's one for you to go and study and have your own deliberations with the Lord and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, okay, was it the right way? Who knows? Okay, but it took him now, after that, his failed attempt where he killed a man, it took him 40 years in the wilderness before the scripture even kind of reconvenes with us, with the Lord and Moses, and the Lord basically telling him to go back. Okay, and then after that, what happened to him again? Another 40 years, and then he still didn't get to go in. Okay, so that gives you insights into what is actually at stake when you don't follow what the Lord's actually saying in the right way and in the right time. Okay, it's really simple. You have to understand that. Let's keep going. 11. Well, let's start at 10 again. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, 11, pass through the host and command the people, saying, prepare you victuals, for within 3 days ye shall pass over this Jordan, to go in to possess the land, which the Lord your God giveth you to possess it. And to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half tribe of Manasseh spake Joshua, saying, so these 2.5 tribes here, Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh came to Joshua, saying, verse 13, Remember the word which Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, saying, The Lord your God hath given you rest, and hath given you this land. Your wives, your little ones, and your cattle shall remain in the land which Moses gave you, on this side Jordan. But ye shall pass before your brethren armed, all the mighty men of valour, and help them, until the Lord have given your brethren rest, as you and they also have possessed the land which the Lord your God giveth them. Then ye shall return unto the land of your possession, and enjoy it, which Moses the Lord's servant gave you on this side Jordan toward the sun rising. So Joshua's basically reminding them, look, this is what Moses said, you can have this land on this side, but remember you're coming with us to repossess this land, and then you can go back. And what did they say? 16. And they answered Joshua, saying, All that thou commandest us we will do, and whithersoever thou sendest us we will go. According as we hearken unto Moses in all things, so will we hearken unto thee. Only the Lord thy God be with thee, as he was with Moses. Moreover, that doth rebel against thy commandment, and will not hearken unto thy words in all that thou commandest him, he shall be put to death. Only be strong and of a good courage. And that wraps up chapter 1. Now it's interesting, just the last thing I'll point out before we move into chapter 2 in today's Bible study video is that, isn't it interesting that what the Lord was saying to Joshua, Joshua now started saying to the people, okay, be of a strong courage, don't be afraid, don't be dismayed. Chapter 2, really vital chapter here in the Bible, in the book of Joshua. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, Go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into an harlot's house named Rahab and lodged there. A couple of things. Remember what happened last time? Moses sent out people to spy the land. Okay, this is why this is really interesting. The Lord Joshua was sending out 2 people to spy out a particular place, the land of Jericho. Okay, now it says that the scripture goes into a harlot's house. Okay, that's what a harlot is, just older years terms for a prostitute. Okay, now it's interesting because Rahab, as we hear about her here, her story doesn't end here. Okay, you'll go all the way into the New Testament and continue to hear about Rahab. So this is really important in regards to her character and what she's actually been able to do. We'll bring her back up in other times, the book of Ruth, obviously the New Testament as well, and I'll just continue to bring it up as we get through the scriptures. Verse 2, And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. Okay, so they've come in to spy the land one way or another, and it's been actually told to the king. 3, And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country. So the king knows exactly what they're here for. 4, Look what Rahab does. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said, Thus there came men unto me, but I wist not whence they. And it came to pass, of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out whither the men went. I wot not, pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. Okay, so she basically says, you know what, I don't know where they are anymore, they've left. Okay, but look what she had actually done. 6, But she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. So she hid them in the roof, on the rooftop, basically. Okay, but she said, look, they've gone out quickly, literally go after them quickly, and you can basically capture them and overtake them. 7, And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords, and as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. So they went out and they shut the gate to, basically what the scripture is kind of saying is that they shut the gate so no one can come in and go out, basically. So it's sort of like, well, you kind of see it from the standpoint of, if they are still in the city, then they actually can't get out. If they're out of the city, then they can't actually get back in. 8, And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. And she said unto the men, I know that the Lord hath given you the land. This is really insightful here. So she's saying, we know that the Lord's giving you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. So the people are scared. Now this is really important, because imagine this, okay? And this is something I guess I've never picked up, okay, until I was actually just kind of browsing through it before I started today's Bible study video. And something that the Spirit put on me, and something the Lord gave me, is in reference to the timeline. That's one of the reasons I brought it up earlier. Okay, understand the timeline, because what she's saying, she knows that the Lord has given this land to them. Okay, when did they come out of Egypt? They came out of Egypt 40 years ago. So what does that mean? That means 40 years ago, these people knew that they were coming to take this land. So imagine, they've been living in fear for 40 years that the Lord's actually going to take them out. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, they're scared. They were scared 40 years. Now look, let's keep going. 10. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you. When did that happen? That happened 40 years ago. It's easy to kind of mistake what's actually happening and just kind of read it as it's just all happening the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day, etc. The Lord dried up the Red Sea 40 years ago. Okay, when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites that on the other side Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. 11. And as soon as we heard, our hearts did melt, neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he God in heaven above and in earth beneath. Now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by the Lord, since I have shewed you kindness, that you will also shew kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token. And you will save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters, and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. So what does she do? She smartly says, you know what? We know this is your land. It's going to be your land. We'll help you. Just save my family, my household, basically. Okay? 14. And the men answered her, our life for yours. If ye utter not this our business. So basically, if we get out of here safely, you don't tell anyone what we're doing here, then you and your family are safe. And it shall be, when the Lord have given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee. 15. Then she let them down by a cord through the window, for her house upon the town wall. And she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, and it's interesting because we'll read about people being let down by the wall into the New Testament, which is just kind of, I feel, ironic as well. Okay, don't believe in coincidence. And she said unto them, get you to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourselves there 3 days, until the pursuers be returned, and afterward may you go your way. So the pursuers have already gone. Now she's saying, look, go to the mountains, dwell there for 3 days, and then go on your business, because they'll be back by then. Okay. 17. And the men said unto her, we blameless of this thine oath which thou hast made us swear. So it's basically putting a fail-safe in, a clause into this agreement they've actually had. Let's read what that is. Behold, 18. Behold, we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window which thou didst let us down by, and thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother and thy brethren and all thy father's household home unto thee. And it shall be, whosoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood upon his head, and we guiltless. So they're basically saying, look, if anybody leaves the house, basically, while we're taking over the land, and they're killed, that blood's on their own person. It's not on us, because we told you, stay in the house while we repossess it, and everyone in the house with this line of cord will actually be safe. Let's keep going. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood on our head, if hand be upon him. Okay, so it's the full safe. If we kill anyone in the house, then it's on us. If we kill anyone outside the house, then it's on them. Okay, it's a way for them to protect themselves from killing someone outside and then hurt anyone and say, no, this is my family. Okay, so if you want to be protected, you have to be in the house. It's really something now the Lord's putting in my spirit as I say these very words, which is really important. Think about the Passover. Who was safe? The only people that were safe were the people in the house with the blood on the doorposts and the two sides. Okay, same thing, similar here. The only people that are going to be safe are going to be the ones in the house. Okay, really important. Let's keep going. 20. And if thou utter this our business, then we will be quit of thine oath which thou hast made us to swear. So if she tries to double cross them, this is not on. Basically, their house is going to get wiped out too. She will be dead, she'll be killed as well. Let's keep going. 21. And she said, according unto your words, so it. And she sent them away, and they departed. And she bound a scarlet line in the window. 22. And they went and came unto the mountain, and abode there 3 days, until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought throughout all the way, but found not. So they couldn't find them wherever they were going. So the 2 men returned and descended from the mountain, and passed over, and came to Joshua the son of Nun, and told him all that befell them. And they said unto Joshua, truly the Lord hath delivered into our hands, all the land, for even all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of us. So that wraps up chapter 2. We've got 2 more chapters into this Bible study video, but it's really important that you understand this was 40 years of waiting. For 40 years, these people had been scared and afraid, knowing their land was actually going to be repossessed. Okay, knowing the children of Israel were coming in to inherit the land, and it just gives you more context of this could have happened 40 years ago. Okay, now I'm continually repeating this and bringing this up again because this applies to you today. Okay, there's things the Lord wants you to do, okay, that you need to do, and it'll be better for you to do them now than to do them in 10 years. I'll give you an example. Okay, I'm obviously a writer. I'm a teacher, but there's loads of different things I've done and I do. One of the things I do is write. And obviously, I've written a couple of books, and I've written a couple of books even some years ago. Okay, that I may have wrote and it's left unpublished, etc. Okay, and it's interesting because I was thinking about it yesterday. Okay, the books that I had written previously in previous years and not published them, I could have published them. And if I had published them at the time, where would I be right now? Okay, it's sort of, you never know where you could be, but it comes down to being obedient. You have to constantly remember that, look, there's things the Lord wants you to do. It's best for you to do them right now. Okay, I'm not referring to things where God's saying, look, I want to do this, but not yet. Okay, obviously that doesn't apply. But the things the Lord has told you to do, and He hasn't put a date on it or restricted you from doing it, do it now. It's best to do it now, because this is a prime example of what is actually at stake. Okay, certain things you might put yourself years away from because you wasn't actually obedient to what He's actually said. So we go into chapter 3 now of the book of Joshua. So we're halfway through today's Bible study video. Verse 1. And Joshua rose early in the morning. This is day 70 of Through the Bible in 1 year, Joshua chapter 3. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the host. And they commanded the people, saying, when ye see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then ye shall remove from your place and go after it. Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near unto it, that ye may know the way by which ye must go, for ye have not passed way heretofore. So the Ark of the Covenant, basically Joshua's here kind of telling us that it's going to be sort of our navigation. Follow where the Ark of the Covenant is going, and he's saying it's important you do this and you leave a proper space because you've never been this way before. So this is basically going to be leading us in the right way to go. 5. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And Joshua spake unto the priests, saying, take up the ark of the covenant and pass over before the people. And they took up the ark of the covenant and went before the people. Okay, so like I kind of said, the scriptures outlining here again. The ark of the covenant, the priests going their particular way is going to be the navigation to the particular way, the perfect way for their destination. Notice I'll say something here again, which I say to my wife time and time again. Okay, it's not always about the easiest route or the quickest route. I always say to her, it's always about the right route. Okay, some of you might be watching this saying, okay, I always like to take the easy route, or you might be thinking, I always like to take the quick route, or anything like that, or I want to take the shortcut. It's always about taking the right route, the route the Lord wants you to take. That's how you're going to get the most success. That's how you're going to have the best opportunity to be prosperous. Okay, let's keep going. 7. And then I referenced this previously. Okay, this is one of the verses I was kind of talking about, where I was basically saying the Lord's going to say, I'm going to use you to I used Moses. Okay, Verse 7, and the Lord said unto Joshua, this day will I begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, I will be with thee. And thou shalt command the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when ye are come to the brink of the water of Jordan, ye shall stand in Jordan. Ye shall stand still in Jordan. Verse 9. And Joshua said unto the children, let's go back to verse 8, just to make sure I've read that properly, and you can read it clearly and hear it clearly. And thou shalt command the priests, talking to Joshua here, command the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when ye are come to the brink of the water of Jordan, ye shall stand still in Jordan. Verse 9. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, come hither and hear the words of the Lord your God. And Joshua said, hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you. And Joshua said, verse 10, hereby ye shall know that the living God among you, and he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Hivites and the Perizzites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth passeth over before you into Jordan. Now therefore take you 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, out of every tribe a man. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of Jordan, the waters of Jordan shall be cut off, the waters that come down from above, and they shall stand upon an heap. And it came to pass, just before I even keep going, it's interesting because one may wonder, what was the greatest miracle wonder the Lord did through Moses? Okay, it's debatable, but a lot of people will point to the Red Sea. What's the first thing the Lord does with Joshua? Okay, not the Red Sea, but the Jordan. Okay, they part the Jordan, they pass through the Jordan as on dry land. Okay, not by mistake, I don't believe, no coincidence. The Lord is really purposeful in the way he does things. Okay, he leaves his footprint loud and clear for you to understand and see what's actually going on. Because some people talk about, well, Moses didn't part the Red Sea. Well, the Lord gives you another example of him parting waters, okay, just to show you that this wasn't no one-off, this wasn't no mistake. I can do this, okay. Let's keep going. 14. And it came to pass, when the people removed from their tents to pass over Jordan, and the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people, and as they that bear the ark, 15, were come unto Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped in the brim of the water, for Jordan overfloweth all his banks all the time of harvest. Okay, so even more to the point, the scripture is highlighting here that during the harvest time, the water, which it gives us more reference about what kind of time it is as well, okay, in regards to timeline, but this is when it's overflowed, okay, as well. So the Lord's basic guidance is to say, look, this is probably like the hardest time for this to actually happen, okay, highlighting again and showcasing his power. 16, that the waters which come down from above rose up upon an heap very far from the city Adam, that beside Zaratan. And those that came down toward the sea of the plain, the salt sea failed, were cut off, and the people passed over right against Jericho. And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Jordan. And all the Israelites passed over on dry ground until all the people were passed clean over Jordan. Okay, let's keep going. Chapter 4, verse 1. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over Jordan, that the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe a man. Okay, so we kind of see this big thing in the book of Exodus passing through the Red Sea. I guess that might be based on the fact that you've got the Egyptians following after them, and the Egyptians actually come in. Now it's sort of just basic, okay. You kind of read it, there's not loads of great detail really. It's just, okay, they've walked through it, now they've passed over, okay. Again, this is the second time this has happened, but again, equally a great miracle. Let's keep going. Verse 3, and command you them, this is the 12 men, okay, the Lord's basically told Joshua to pick out, saying, take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones. Okay, so he's saying, look, out of the Jordan that you've just passed over in dry ground, take 12 men, take them to go and pick out a stone. Okay, why? Let's read. And ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in a lodging place, where ye shall lodge this night. Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel, out of every tribe a man. Okay, 1 man from each tribe of the children of Israel. And Joshua said unto them, Pass over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of Jordan, and take ye up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according unto the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, when your children ask in time to come, saying, What ye by these stones? A lot of the time, the Lord will do these kind of things for you to remember. Okay, we read about in chapter 1. Meditate on these things day and night. Okay, don't be dismayed, don't be discouraged. I'm going to be with you wherever you go. Okay, I'm going to bring you to good success and prosperity if you're obedient to what I say. Okay, a lot of the time you do these things as remembrance. Okay, like I said, in times of hardship, in times of struggle, in times of unbelief, you reference things, you reference past things that the Lord has actually done for you, in order for you to keep going to the things He will do for you. Okay, for the rest of the day, for tomorrow, for the next week, for the next year, for the next etc. decade, etc. Okay, for the rest of your life. Look what happens. Verse 7. What should you say to them? 7. Then ye shall answer them that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, when it passed over Jordan. The waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. Okay, and the children of Israel did so as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of Jordan, as the Lord spake unto Joshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them over with them unto the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. Okay, thousands of years later, we're still talking about it today. Okay, this was one act. They took out 12 stones out of the river and basically placed them where they lodged that night as a remembrance. So whenever anyone sees them, they can say, this was the time the Lord opened the Jordan, basically, as the Ark of the Covenant passed through, and we took out 12 stones as a memorial to show that these actually came from the Jordan. Okay, let's keep going. 9. And Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests which bear the ark of the covenant stood, and they are there unto this day. 10. For the priests which bear the ark stood in the midst of Jordan until everything was finished that the Lord commanded Joshua to speak unto the people, according to all that Moses commanded Joshua, and the people hasted and passed it over. So the priests are in the midst while people are passing through. Okay, and it's interesting because imagine, as people are going through, at any point they could just be like, wow, we could die right now. Okay, but they were faithful till the end. Okay. Verse 11. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over, that the ark of the Lord passed over, and the priests in the presence of the people. 12. Okay, and the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half tribe and half the tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the children of Israel, as Moses spake unto them. So let's just read that again. 12. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the children of Israel, as Moses spake unto them. So it's basically saying here, it's really referencing that, look, it's writing down in a historical document that those 2.5 tribes actually were obedient and actually passed over with them. Okay, which is important. Let's read this one more time. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the children of Israel, as Moses spake unto them. 13. About 40,000 prepared for war passed over before the Lord unto battle to the plains of Jericho. On that day the Lord magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him as they feared Moses. Okay, similar. All the days of his life. And the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, so the Lord speaking to Joshua here, saying, command the priests that bear the ark of the testimony that they come up out of Jordan. Okay, so everyone's over now. Now the priests can come out of Jordan. They've taken the stones out and everything as well. Now the priests can come out of Jordan. 17. Joshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, come ye up out of Jordan. 18. And it came to pass, when the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord were come up out of the midst of Jordan, the soles of the priests' feet were lifted up unto the dry land, that the waters of Jordan returned unto their place, and flowed over all his banks, as before. So literally, the moment their feet touched the dry ground, the River Jordan went back to normal. Okay, which I just think is, these are kind of, it's mind-boggling. These are the kind of things that showcase God's power. Okay, one can try and say it was chance or it was some sort of foolishness or anything like that. I can't even imagine some of the things people might come up with, but literally to a T, the moment their feet touched the ground, the River Jordan went back to normal, which I think is really powerful. 19. Last couple of verses, let's wrap up today's Bible study video. And the people came up out of Jordan on the 10th of the first month, and encamped in Gilgal in the east border of Jericho. Okay, so got some information on the timeline. The 10th day of the first month. And those 12 stones which they took out of Jordan did Joshua pitch in Gilgal. And he spake unto the children of Israel, saying, when your children shall ask their fathers in time to come, saying, what these stones? And before I even keep going, it's interesting that the scripture's talking about it was on the 10th day of the first month, because what do we know is in the first month of the year for the Israelites? Okay, the Passover. Okay, so remember that. Okay, let's keep going. 22. What shall we say about these stones? Then ye shall let your children know, saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of Jordan from before you until you were passed over. 23. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of Jordan from before you until you were passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea. So even the Lord's referencing it. Okay, the Red Sea and the Jordan, which he dried up from before us until we were gone over. The last verse, that all the people of the earth might know the hand of the Lord, that it mighty, that ye might fear the Lord your God forever. So the Lord prefaces, and so the Lord concludes and wraps up this piece of text by saying, one of the reasons I did this is for the people in all the earth to know that he is mighty and he is powerful, and ultimately he is the supreme creator of the whole earth. So thanks for tuning into today's Bible study video. Really appreciate it, you spending the time with me today. As always, there's a link below this video. You can actually sow a seed to the ministry, help us to continue to produce these materials, help us to continue to give these out to you for free, and click the subscribe button on the channel, like the video as well, and comment below your thoughts and thinking of what we're actually doing here at In Thy Word Ministries. Thanks and take care.